What life has taught me so far is that life can change in 2 seconds. Honestly, with one phone call, your whole entire life can change. It takes that. It's that quick. And your whole life will be different. For example, I was with one of my friends and we were making a cake at the time. And my phone rang and I was like, oh, so I answered it and no one was there. And so I thought, oh, that's weird. Anyway, it rang again and I answered it. And I'm like, hello, who is this? And there was a guy on the other end and he goes, look, you don't know me, but your husband is sleeping with my wife. And I was like, what? What nonsense is this? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, your husband is sleeping with my wife. And I'm like, put him on loudspeaker, of course, for my friend to be able to hear the conversation. So I'm like, okay, can you tell me more about this? Who are you? Where are you calling from? What do you mean? All that sort of stuff. And he goes, well, obviously, because you have a cake business, you're quite easy to find. I just had to look up your business number. And while your husband was down on business travels where they lived, his wife had told him about all of their shenanigans. Now, I had a feeling that this was already going on. I just, it's an intuition. For many years, I sort of knew this was going on quite a bit with other people. But, when you've got, at this time, 4 kids, 4 properties, and, you've been married for 10 years, and been played and told different stories for cover-ups and, gaslighted and gaslighted and gaslighted and gaslighted. You don't know what the truth is anymore. You don't know who to believe. You don't even know that you need to believe yourself, and your intuition is always right. That is my biggest number one lesson that I have actually learned. Or another major lesson is that no matter what, your gut is right, no matter what. And if you're with someone who can gaslight you as much as I was gaslighted, baby. So anyway, I thought, well, because I had been told a different story, it's a bit of a tricky one. So let's rewind this. About a month ago, prior to this phone call, I was at our market stall and he was away. The husband at the time was away on a business trip. And I get this phone call. And it was from an anonymous, no, it wasn't a phone call, it was a text message. I get this text message saying, I know what your husband's up to. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I pretty much freaked out and was like, well. And so I tried to ring him. No, of course he didn't answer, which was very odd. Yeah, I eventually got hold of him. Eventually. And I'm like, where have you been? Like, usually he answers the phone. But in this moment, I know he's trying to figure out something to say. And this was the story. Oh, some people had come into his workplace and they had threatened him, and so now they're going to threaten me and all this sort of stuff. So he didn't know what to do, blah, 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 Anyway, so fast forward to this phone call with this guy. He said, well, that was me attempting to message you to let you know that I knew what your husband was doing and you needed to know. I was like, okay, do you have any, proof? Because, apparently I got told that people are trying to destroy the ex and trying to destroy me and all that sort of stuff. So naive me, oh, do you have any proof, blah, blah. He goes, yeah, you can talk to my wife. My wife is willing to tell you everything that happened. And I'm like, oh, okay. Later that day, I spoke to his wife. Now, I have no beef with her because I ain't married to her. I don't care. Like, I really don't. She told me everything, and one of my friends said if she genuinely wanted to pretend, if it was all a game and out to get me, she could have made it sound a lot worse and you know, that sort of stuff. So, but on my instincts, I knew that this was legit. I knew this was for real. So I just had to face the husband. So he came home that night, and as I opened the door, he's like instantly was like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Nothing's wrong. Why are you asking me what's wrong?" Like, and so I'm like, anywho, dinner's there. I'm going to just pop out for a minute. I'll be back later. I needed to go. I needed to get out of that house. I needed to vent. So when I came back, I was like, kitties, bedtime, you know, tuck him into bed, all that sort of stuff. And I had asked him for his phone. He actually gave it to me. Now, at this point, for the 10 years we were married, let me tell you that he deleted all his messages. He told me that he deleted his messages to save space on his phone. To save space on his phone. Okay, yeah. So, for some reason, he gave me the phone, and I went in the bathroom, and the first person that I see that he had looked up on Facebook was the girl that I had spoken to that afternoon. Anyway, that was proof enough. Like, how can you lie about that? So, I took him outside, and I confronted him. I said, so, what's the go? You know? And he said, after a while, he finally admitted to, just texting and flirting and texting and that sort of stuff. And I was like, but he wouldn't admit to the full jig, like the 2 times and all this sort of stuff. So this went on for weeks, a couple weeks. I'd actually asked him to move out to give me some space to figure this out because I didn't want us to be hostile in front of the kids. But no, he didn't want to move out. You know, so that's okay. I asked my mother if I could move in with her. I needed space to figure this out. No, was the answer. No. Okay, no worries. I mean, we had just moved out of our house for 2 years after building this house. Anyway, a couple weeks went by, and eventually, because all I wanted was the truth. I just wanted the truth. But no, he had come up with every lie in the book. Like, every lie. Even one point, he said that the reason why he moved from his hometown to be here is because the Harley Davidsons were after him. Now, what happens to a wife when they find out that their husband's been cheating, or partner's been cheating, whatever? We become the best detectives that there are. We do. And so guess what I found out? I found out that he had done this to his ex-fiancée. His ex-fiancée. But see, the thing was, what I found out was that he told me it was the other way around. He told me that she had cheated on him, and he had come home one day, and so he bashed this dude up with a baseball bat, cricket bat, whatever, right? And that was the end, and that was like a few weeks out from before they got married. Well, turns out it was actually the other way around. So for 10 years, I had thought that this guy had, been cheated on, poor thing. He'd never do that to anybody. No. So, anyway, that for me was a nail in the coffin. That for me was, I had rung around other people. So many people told me, yes, we knew that he'd been cheating on you over the years. Yes, we saw his car at such and such as at 4 o'clock in the morning on the way to work. Yes, we've seen him here. Yes, we've seen him do this. All these people came out of the woodworks. It's like, why now? why couldn't you just tell me then? Like, I knew, but I never had proof. For example, the amount of gaslighting that I went through was phenomenal. Like, for example, one Easter day, or was it after Easter? Yeah, obviously it was after Easter. Because he comes home one day and goes, one of the office ladies said that I need to stop cheating on you. And I'm like, well, why would she say that? And he goes, I don't know, apparently they saw me with such and such on Easter Sunday. And obviously I'm like, well, that can't be true because you were with us. Gaslighting. There was another incident that was that's basically just to set me up. Like, you know, if anyone does say anything, I'll just go, no, he was with us. Like, that can't be true. The other time was how old was my eldest at the time? Oh my God. She was probably 11. No, she would have been like 12, 13, something like that, right? And I had to go to Sydney for my cousin's wedding. And we were staying at our mum's at the time. And he goes, can you clean out the car for me? To our eldest. And so she did. So obviously I know this story after everything happened. She said Mum at that time, she cleaned out the car and she saw a condom in there. And she didn't know what to do or anything like that. So the weird part was when I got back from Sydney, obviously my daughter had told me after, you know, shit hit the fan. But the weird part was when I came back from Sydney, we went for a drive and we're driving down this particular road just around the corner from here. And he goes randomly, oh, by the way, I went out with such and such, and he like grabbed this condom and flung it at the rear view mirror. And I was so angry at him, and I'm like, why are you telling me this random story? Like, what? Well, obviously I now know why he told me that, because he was trying to gaslight me. He was trying to set me up pre-situation style, you know. Anyway, so what else? Oh, there's so many gaslighting stories I could tell you. And I'm only telling you this so that you learn from it. Like, my stories, all my stories are for you to learn, like, from, hopefully learn or have some insight into the fact that you need to trust your gut, like, honestly, because if only I did. Okay, so there were nights where I just knew, you know, you're so connected to your partner, like, you know when they're with someone else. And then there's dreams, and my dreams are pretty vivid and real, so I know what's real and what's not real, what's a gut feeling and what's not, you know, so there's a lot of stuff. So when I made that decision that I was done after finding out that he had lied to me about his ex-fiance, well, that was it for me. Let alone in this time, so in this particular red zone, I'd call it, because I got him to move. Oh, here's another story. Oh my God. So to help the kids out, well, I figured my brain out and didn't want any hostility. Like, I said to him, can you please just tell the kids that you're going on another business trip? Oh, there's so many stories I could tell you. Here's one that proves, I'll go back to that. Here's one that proves your instincts. So we're at a wedding. I'd picked him up from the airport from another business trip. And as soon as he got in the car, I looked at him and I thought, you've cheated on me. You have been with someone else. Anyway, I just shut my mouth and went to this wedding. What proof did I have? You know? Oh, I'm proof enough. My gut's enough. That's what I've learned. Anyway, so we went to this wedding and we're all standing around like one of the tables, and he walks out of the bathroom and his fly was down. And no shit, everybody, I didn't say anything, everyone else turned around and said, oh, your flies down and all this sort of stuff. And I was like, okay then. And at the table, it was just always on his phone. I'm like, oh, is that your girlfriend, is it? Little did I know it was actually. Anyway, well, it turns out the girl that I had spoken to, well, they had sent me the photos of the photos that he had sent them, and one of them was at that wedding. He was sending a whatever photo in the bathroom, hence why I guess his zip was down when it came out. So back to the other story. I had asked him to pretend that he was going on a business trip and go stay with a mate so that I could have some time to myself to process all of this crap. And the kids would just have thought he's just going on another business trip like normal. So that was the plan. He went and stayed at a mate's. But the next day, he drove on the same route past the kids' bus stop while they were waiting for the bus. Of course, he stopped and said, hello, kids. Like, seriously, dude. So that was that, you know. I'll let you be your own judge there. The most scariest part during, like, I can talk about this fluently now because I've healed from this. I've moved on from this. I went through a 6-year divorce settlement because of this. But anyway. So obviously he couldn't help the kids out by just that one little thing and saying he went on a business trip so he could sort it out. But no. So he ended up going and staying with a mate for a while. And then he decided, nah, I'm moving back home. So I asked my mum again, can we move in with her? Because I really, really can't be under the same roof as him. I really can't. And reluctantly, she said yes. So, I mean, all our beds and stuff were set up there because we had literally just moved out. Anyway, the reason why she didn't want us to move in was because she wanted me to just sort it out, like old school. You'll get over it. Sort it out. He's cheated on you. You'll be alright, mate. Suck it up. Yeah, no, wasn't just that. So anyway, we moved in. I went on my little, you know, detective wife's mode hunt, found out all the lies and all the rest of it and all the years of everything else. Then the messages started coming. 12-year plan for the kids in school. How his life insurance is going to pay all of this off. The messages I got, the instincts I got, was he was going to kill himself. Then the messages turned towards the kids in a sense. Like, there was this one particular time my son had an AFL, was it graduation day, ceremony day? And so we drove past the house and he had to go get his uniform. So we drove past the house and he ran in there and the ex was in the driveway, white as a ghost. Looked like he was on drugs, looked like just, it was scary. It was scary. Like, I can't even. And he came up to the car and he said to me, you can have everything, but I'm going to take everything you love away from you. And in that moment, my whole body just froze and I got chills, all of that. I looked at my phone, I tried to record it. No way, there was no way I could do that. It was said and done. Waited for my son to get back in the car. At the time, he was only 10, 11. And I drove off. Drove around the corner. And all my son saw was me flipping him off because I was like, no, that's not going to happen, you know. My son had run out of that house getting his uniform for that night and had said, Mum, I'm really scared of the house. It's a trap. Feels like there's a trap in there and I don't ever want to go back there. Yeah, that in that moment, I knew there was something going on in that head of his. And it was a deep, dark place. That night, after the ceremony, I came home and I got a text message about 10, 11 o'clock at night saying, can I have the kids tomorrow and I want the car because his little sports car wouldn't be able to fit our family in. And something just in me just felt like it really dropped, sunk deep, and I was like, no, he's just either going to drive off the cliff with them or something bad's going to happen. I can't do it. I just can't. So that really, really freaked me out. And it was just a simple text message, but it was my gut. Long story short, I just didn't let him have the kids that day because I just didn't feel right. And this was the night that I had come home. The kids were in bed and my mum goes, your son's stupid for being scared of his own father. And I was like, what? And she was like, and you're stupid too, and he's stupid, and this and that. You know, you guys just need to make up and get over it. And it's like, yeah, no, I'm good. And then, that was it. That was it. Like, I was my last straw with my mother. Like, anyway. So, didn't end up being my last straw, but it was one of my last straws. That night, I told the kids, pack your bags. We're going on an adventure the next day. So, we packed our bags. And in the morning, we left for school, but we didn't. We went on a week of hiding. Now, it just happened that this week, my best friend was actually going down south on a holiday, so we were able to go stay at her house for a week, thank God. But when we had to get out of there before they came back, so we're there for a week. I just didn't trust the situation. My gut was telling me the kids are not safe, the kids are not safe, the kids are not safe. From all the proof and the evidence of the financial things that he was sending through, life insurance, he left in the house a printed note on how to hang yourself. He had left how to do, this or that, and it was like, yeah, I'm not even going to. Like, for all these years, I have ignored all of my gut instincts about him cheating. I was not going to ignore the fact that my children's lives were at risk now, and my own. And it wasn't just the hard evidence that I had lying around the house or the messages that had been sent to me. It was my gut. My gut was telling me. I was fearful. So I didn't let the kids know any of this. We went on our holidays. We went and stayed at my friends for 7 days. And then when they came back, I decided, well, okay, I got to go get money out from somewhere and then pay everything cash. That's what I did. In the meantime, I had started proceedings with the DVA, the Domestic Violence Office, and they were able to help. Also going to Centrelink. So the government, go to your government for help. If you need this sort of help, go to the government, go to a domestic violence office or a women's shelter. That was our next thing. We were going to go stay at a women's shelter. That's all I could do. I couldn't go home. My mum was on his side, literally. I didn't know what else to do. So we stayed at a hotel for a couple of nights we have fond memories of that night because I made it fun for the kids. This isn't their thing, It wasn't for them to stress out on or anything like that. So in the meantime, I was, in liaise with the DVO, the Domestic Violence Office, and the hardest thing to prove is when you're mentally and verbally abused. Physical, no worries, there's my bruise. You can see it, the whole world can see it. But when you've been mentally abused for years and now going through even more, it's really hard to prove in a court. So I had a lawyer assigned to me and she was able to get all of the text messages and everything. Now at this point, when I first found out, I was cool, calm and collected like a cucumber because at the end of the day, I wasn't married to these people. I didn't care. And I'm pretty sure I'd left the marriage, as they say, years before this even happened. Obviously loved him, but yeah. Anyway, there was a text message that came through that said, I'm leaving. I've left the car in the driveway for our eldest. I'm leaving for good. You can come home, but don't bring the kids with you. That instinctively told me that he was going to what. So my heart sunk. Mentally, I didn't want him to do that. So that really does play with your head in that position. You think, should I be putting a DVO on him? Should I be going back to him? I don't want him to do that. I don't want him to do that for the kids. So then I got the family friend to go around, and they saw that there was no fans, no lights on. The gate was closed, the doors were locked. But when he peeked inside, he saw him sitting on the couch, waiting for me. I know in that moment I knew. So they had to do a welfare check on him, and they sent a policeman around to make sure he was okay. We waited for the police officer to say all was okay, and then that was just more evidence and proof, you know, towards my case. And the next day we got an interim order for DVO for me and the kids, and he was still not to know our location. He also got summoned at work to vacate the property, the family home, so that we could go home. We could be safe. So we were able to move back home. It was so scary going home. So we moved back home. It was scary. I told the kids we were over finished our little holidays. You know, they were 1, 5, I think 13, 14, and also, you know, 10, 11. They were babies. They were little back then. So anyway, we got our home back. We were supported by a lot of, I guess, the groups for domestic violence, security, and all that sort of stuff. So we got a lot of things done around the house for free, which was great. I don't know if they offer that in other countries, but honestly, in Australia, our domestic violence is really, really high in Australia, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of support groups out there. I felt the support. Like, to get out of this situation, you know, you need to first thing go to the government. And no joke, I walked into Australian Centrelink before any of this started, just to find out where I stood and all that. And no joke, no joke, they were like, okay, you can come into this room, but you need to leave your handbag here. And I'm like, what? And your phone. I'm like, what? And they're like, because of you could be tracked, you could be recorded. And I'm like, that makes so much sense with people. Like, you know, even to this day, and what are we in, 2006, and this happened in 2017, to this day, I believe this house is still bugged. Call me paranoid, but it's not just me that says it. Well, I mean, no, I don't give a shit anymore, but my kids, especially my daughter is always like, I swear to God, this house is bugged. This is bugged. Like, so it's paranoia that you get left with. So, you know, there's a lot of trauma you're still working through, but, you know, you'll get there. Anyway, we had another court date. So I got a DVO on him for 12 months. Honestly, because he's a full-blown narcissist, I need it through a lawyer to get diagnosed or whatever. Of course they're going to go to a psychiatrist and BS their way through it. Like, I have lived and breathed this person. I know. I have been gaslighted. I have been manipulated and abused and you name it. Oh, it didn't stop there. And it's still going. It's still going on the sly, you know. But the only way around it was my husband now, I don't deal with the ex at all. He deals with everything. I'm very lucky in that way. The only way that you can stop this type of person in your life is cutting them out, cutting them off. I don't know what else to say, but I think if I didn't get the DVO for 12 months, then, you know, he would have manipulated me. He would have gotten into my head more and more. And I know that he would have cheated on me if I had ever gotten back with him. And you know what? It was the best decision I ever made. Because we are thriving now. Me and the kids and their stepdad, we have the best life. It was the best decision. Lucky for us, well, obviously after all of that, he decided to move state, so that was a good thing. I knew it would happen, just like it happened with his first fiance. As soon as he got caught, he moved state, because that's how they work. Anyway, I hope my story helped somebody out there. If you have any questions, just reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help, like talk to you or guide you in the right direction. It's a tricky situation, especially what comes after it once you make that decision. 6 years divorce settlement, which is not normal, because you're dealing with someone who promises that they will take you for everything that you've got. If it wasn't for my own instincts and him saying, you can have everything, but I'll take everything you love away from you. Yeah, just be careful and trust your gut. That's all I can say.